Good afternoon, guys. What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. Hope everybody's having a great start to your week. Monday after work here, already back in the shop, getting some things done. Got a couple things. We got the tow pig back in the shop. We will go over what is going on with that, why it's back in here. Nothing major, there's a couple little things that we got to take care of. We are obviously, as you guys might have seen, experiencing some more northeast lovely snow weather. So that is going on, and number one thing on the list to do this week, which it shouldn't really take all that long, really we should be able to wrap it up by the end of today, is the drag truck chassis. We need to get that. There's a couple other things, miscellaneous little things on this that need to get buttoned up and done before we can trailer it up to Coker Chassis up in PA near Wilkes-Barre, PA. And he's going to be taking care of the fiberglass, the chassis work, the roll cage stuff. We're going to be up there helping him when we can, go over things, and come up with an awesome plan. But it needs to get there ASAP. It needed to be there probably a week or two ago. That's when we were supposed to get it here. A couple other little things delayed us. The mid plate is in and done now. Like I said, there's just a couple other little things that we need to do. Now you saw we drilled out all the spot welds for this little hump over here for the seat. We do need to take off this little bracket. So I do want to go over this little spot weld drill bit here that we picked up from good old Harbor Freight. As you can see, it's already had its fair share of abuse here. I actually picked up two of these because I was like, man, I don't know if one will do it. I don't know. Surprisingly, we just started using this one not all that long ago. There are a couple tips and tricks that I think you guys might find very helpful if you are going to be using this. So we're going to go over that real quick. But one of them did pretty much this whole entire thing, did a lot of mounts on the side here with just this one drill bit. So if you use it decently well, it will serve you very well. So again, I'm going to take off that small bracket in the back. Now, what's going on with the tow pig here? Nothing major. We have a headlight out, which of course is on this side, which is kind of a little bit of a bear to do. And we have a cracked, I don't know if you can see it, a cracked fog light lens. So we are going to be replacing both fog lights and the headlights in this thing. Luckily enough, we have a spare set from, I don't even know what we have a spare set from, but we have a spare set. So we're going to put both of those in. These are the blacked out ones that I always usually run. Headlights we're not doing anything crazy with. We're just putting some regular old bulbs back in there just because I don't want to drive with no light. So most of the time to replace your headlights on these third gen trucks, you actually got to pull the headlight out, which is not that big of a deal. There is a bolt here, and then there is one, I'll show you on the other side. Don't mind the salty mess. I'm hoping, the weather report actually said it's supposed to be up to 30, 35 here sometime this week, and I'm hoping to get this thing cleaned up, guys. I know. But there is a little grommet here that sticks in your little fender well here, and then if you can see back in here, there's a little 10mm nut hiding back in there, and then the headlight just pulls right out. So we're going to do that quick. The fog lights, show you here, the fog lights actually are just held in by 3 little bolts. I think they're 10mm heads, and these just basically unscrew and pop right out, so it shouldn't be too bad. Let's go over the plans after the drag truck is out of here and gone. Again, we are going to be spending some time going up there, helping, showing you guys the cage work, everything that goes into that behind the scenes. We'll be up there when we can get there, maybe some weekends, stuff like that, to help and aid and kind of go over everything that they're doing while they're doing it up there, just to kind of keep you guys in the loop with the drag truck. Now, once that's gone during the week, obviously we're not going up there weekdays after we get out of work at 4 or 5 o'clock, and you know, he's an hour or two away. Doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But in the background, you can see you guys have all been asking for some first gen content. First gen content is coming as soon as the drag truck is in Mr. Bob's hands, and we can start going over the first gen. Now, Motorama, you've heard me talk about before, February 17th, 18th, Harrisburg Farm Show Complex. We will be there. The first gen will be there. The first gen is going to do a little makeover before it gets there. We got a couple things planned. As soon as this is out, That's in, I promise. And then once Motorama is done, then we're gonna start diving back into the engine and doing the whole P-pump swap and a couple other things that I got planned for the 12 valve. And all of that while the new engine for the 05 will be done very, very, very soon. The new transmission will be done, so we'll be going and picking up that, picking up other stuff, and getting this done all at the same time. So that's just a little bit of a brief background just to catch you guys up on where we're gonna be headed the next month, two, and the content that's gonna be coming. So look forward to all of that stuff, guys. Just wanna keep you guys in the loop with the big picture of what's going on. One other noteworthy thing to mention, our man Mark, let's just talk about our man Mark here. We went away this weekend, we had a blast, we definitely had a blast, it was awesome. He built us an awesome thing to go right here. And I think it's pretty much done, and you guys are gonna see that coming up soon. But he's the one who actually dropped off these awesome cookie stash over here. He came in and one day he's like, here you go. I'm like, what is that? I'm like, I don't need that stuff. He goes, I'm trying to lose a couple pounds here. He goes, you gotta have shop snacks. So thank you, Mark, for that. Thank you, Mark, for our big surprise that's going in this corner. And I saw a couple people ask about the mini fridge. The mini fridge is good to go. Lo and behold, you guys said it in the comments, and so did my father-in-law. Of course, apparently fridges need to see some warmer temperatures before they like to work. So it was just getting too cold. Now that the shop is kind of always staying at 60, 65, we're good. And this thing's chilling them. This thing's chilling them good. So mini fridge is back up and running. It was never even broken. So mini fridge, good to go. I still have yet to find a place to mount it, so that's why it's kind of on the floor here. I'm thinking like maybe up in that little cubby hole up there, or maybe up there somewhere out of the way. We're still getting things situated here. Alrighty guys, so got out the old fog lights here. You can kind of see, if you look down in there, they're really just tinted lenses. I've had these on here for quite a while. You can kind of see they lose their, starts to get all peely inside there. So does this one. These, on the other hand, still look good. They are not, because they are a lot newer, don't have that many miles on them. But the reason that I'm stopping here is because the 9006 bulbs that are in there, if you saw when I flicked them on, the new ones actually look pretty dang good, but these look very yellow. So I want to run back and grab the same brand to put in these new fog lights. That way they kind of match and have the same tint to them. So we are going to stop briefly here, and when we get back, we will have the new bulbs. Alrighty, and just like that, we have got the Night Vision Brilliant in a 9006 bulb for the fog lights. So we will plug those in, and hopefully the other ones didn't have that blue tint on them. But as you can see here, of course, I mean their depictions, their pictures are obviously correct. So I mean we had to go with the Brilliant Night Vision. So these are going to be 17,000 feet further than the original bulb. So we'll stick those in. Hopefully they have the same tint, and away we will move with this evening. Alrighty, moment of truth time. Let's see if these all work and all look the same. Got the fog lights on. The camera's definitely making them look a little purple, that's for sure. They do look like they are the same, but it looks like the tint on the fog lights is making them look a little more purplish, which not the worst thing in the world. But when the lights are off, they all look black, And that is what we were going for the daytime look. So the nighttime look looks close enough, so we will call that good for now on the tow rig. Alrighty guys, on to the in-depth review, probably not so in-depth review on the $5 Harbor Freight spot welding removal drill bit tool thingamajigger. So what we got to do here, hop up in the cab. We got to undo, of course, it's a 13 out of 10, of course. We got to undo this top piece here, and then you can kind of see, if I wipe this down a little bit, you can see there's 4 spot welds on this thing. So we are going to show you, actually, holy crap, there's a lot more up there. So looks like there's about 6, 7, 8, maybe, who knows, for spot welds for this one little piece. So instead of trying to drill them out, let's save ourselves quite a bit of time and use this spot welding removal tool and see how well it really works. All right, so once you have identified your spot welds, which pretty easy to see, 3 on each side, 1 in the middle there, this bit actually does have a little tip here that is on a spring that when you press this in, kind of supposed to be your little centering point. It kind of gets jammed up the more you use it, but in my case, what I have found, even though this little centering pin is kind of supposed to be like your little pilot hole, what I usually do is I have just taken a very, very small drill bit and just started just a little indentation on each spot weld, and then I go back in with this, and that kind of centers it, as rather than relying on this spring tension to try and make your little pilot. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna basically make those small little holes and then start with this. All right, so like I said, just little starter, little dimple holes, and then we'll go in with the hole saw. So just like any other hole saw, you want to kind of use a little bit of speed to help you. So we're going to go on the high setting, get those holes started, and I'll show you exactly what it looks like, where you kind of want to stop. Alrighty, so my demonstration is turning out to be a little bit of a fail. As you can see, like I said before, this one was already used quite a bit, and it's kind of at the point where it needs to get turned in for a new one. You can kind of see when it spins, she's a little bit used and bent, that's for sure, which is making it a little bit difficult to stay centered on these holes, even with my little pilot. But you can see here, this is the kind of depth that you're looking for about halfway through. You really, just look at the thickness of the metal. That's how far you want to go in with that. And then once you start to bang it with your hammer, you'll see kind of right down in here on this one, basically starts to crack away from the existing steel behind it. So these just need to go a little bit deeper, and then we're pretty much all the way through. Basically kind of like what you see here on this one. You can kind of see just the little bit of base metal that's still left, not touching the existing exterior one. So this tool overall, in my opinion, for $5 is quite a good tool. Life expectancy, not so much on that. You are definitely going to need a couple if you plan on doing a lot like this. So we are going to continue to try and finish off the rest of these with this pretty much shot one, because that's all we have left. So we're going to try and get that done. I'll catch back up with you guys. Alrighty guys, finally got that bracket pieces off. Came apart in a couple different pieces here, but this is what you're kind of looking for. You can kind of see the metal from the other side, but not touched through on the base metal here. So that is what you're looking for. Brackets off, just gotta take the grinder, smooth those out. Biggest reason why I kind of focused on this, to show you guys, as the roll cage kind of comes down, probably what is it, B-pillar, there's gonna be a bar that comes right across here. So if I wanted to get this out, a lot of this stuff right in here is gonna have to come out now. The other thing that I just realized that I wasn't really sure of, and you can kind of see this kind of looks like another piece of very thin, you can actually peel it with your fingers. Oh, there it goes. It looks like it's glued to the back here. I didn't realize that that could come off so easily. And there's that piece, and there is this piece. You can kind of see I actually started to lift off right here. A little bit of surface there. But I can tell you exactly what the rest of my night's going to look like. It's going to look like taking all of that off of here and all of that off of here. So that is going to be very not exciting, but something that is going to have to get done, in my opinion. I want to get that done, and we need to scrape the rest of this crap off the top of the roof here. So that's what we'll be doing. Yay, so exciting race truck stuff. What seems like is forever is a couple hours, but we finally have the tin sheet off the back and the tin sheet off of the firewall. I have now started to use the old trusty wood chisel here with a little bit of a messed up blade, but works well for scraping this stuff off with two hands, of course, and we'll clean all that up. So that's going to be a while, but making headway. Not really, I mean, maybe a couple pounds. Not really done for weight saving purposes, but more so just a clean look on the inside. I'm treating this more than just a race vehicle that you don't really care about all of the little details. You know, we're making it so it's going to be a showpiece, so when the cage is done, when the custom dash is done, when everything is done, you know, when somebody looks in here, I want it to look very professional, very like every little thing has been touched, and this is kind of the details that it takes. That little bracket might mean nothing to somebody, but to me, it didn't need to be there, and it looks cleaner without it. So that's the kind of thing that we're just taking our time doing, which is taking quite a bit of time, but we'll get all this off the back here. That way, you know, that's just one little sheet of firewall. This is one little sheet of firewall. We're going to end up patching all of those holes completely shut, except for the ones that we're going to need for the steering shaft, the master cylinder brake booster. Those two are nothing now. So making headway. This is the kind of stuff that we got to do before it gets to Mr. Fab, and that's it, boys. That's it, boys. Time-consuming, non-exciting things and stuff. A lot of people, I read a couple comments about how high this looks right now. Obviously, it looks pretty high with not all the weight on it. This isn't the final suspension setup. I talked to Bob. When it goes up to the frame shop, apparently I think what they do is they set the frame up on a jig and kind of level the frame out anyway, so it's not really sitting on these tires, on the suspension. Doesn't really make a difference for fabbing the cage. It's all going to get put on a separate plane. That way it's all leveled off, not relying on the tires to create a level surface. So who knows if I said that correctly, but I think that's the gist of it roughly. And yeah, this is race truck things. These are race truck things right here. I can see the final image though. I feel like when you're doing a project like this, you kind of need to have a final end goal image in your mind. That way it kind of helps you with some of this stuff. So it's all up here, guys. This probably looks like a big pile of crap to a lot of people, but I can see the final image. It's gonna be awesome. So we're just gonna keep plugging away. It's already kind of late. We're gonna get started on removing the rest of that stuff, but I'll probably end the video here. Not gonna really want to, raise your hand if you want to watch a whole time lapse of me scraping this crap off of the cab. Probably not very many. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. I got a lot of stuff planned for the rest of the week. Thank you guys. Hit the like button before you leave. Subscribe if you have not already. See you tomorrow.